Hello, dear students. Today I am here with Writing Task 2, and in this video, I'm going to explain you in detail that how to write Task 2. So basically, I'm here with a Band 8 sample answer. So in this one, I'll just let you know that, what are basically the things on the basis of which your writing task 2 is evaluated. And I'll let you know those things which you should be considering while writing your task. All right. So let's get straight into it and understand the question first. It says that convenience food will become increasingly prevalent and eventually replace traditional food. Traditional methods of food preparation. What extent do you agree or disagree? So, convenience food. What is convenience food? Convenience food is basically the food which you can, just grab from a restaurant, from what we say. What's that word? Drive through, or maybe just grabbing a quick cup of coffee, a burger, or something like that. So the convenience food, so which is very convenient to buy, eat. So that type of food is called convenience food. So the question is related to that. Convenience food will become increasingly prevalent. So this is a general scenario, and this question is, based on this thing, future. So convenience food will become increasingly prevalent. Number one, because it will become increasingly prevalent, so it will eventually replace the traditional food. What do you mean by traditional food then? Traditional food is the food which is the kind of staple food which we, are eating, which we have been eating. So the food is called traditional. Convenience food will become increasingly prevalent, due to which eventually convenience food will replace traditional food, number one, and methods of preparation as well. Traditional methods of preparation as well. So do you think that this will happen? First of all, it's very important to understand the question and then brainstorm correct ideas. So it says that convenience food will become increasingly prevalent, eventually replace traditional food and traditional methods of food preparation. So do you believe so that this will happen? If you think that this will happen, then you have to give 2 points of agreement, one in main body paragraph 1 and the other one in main body paragraph 2. However, if you disagree with the given statement that no, it won't happen, it will not replace, but maybe they both will coexist. That means you are disagreeing with the statement. So it's very, very important to understand the question in the first place and then, brainstorming the correct ideas. So there are these 4 things on the basis of which your task will be evaluated by the examiner. The first one, the most important, is task achievement. Task achievement means answering the question. Ideas which you are writing in your exam correct, or are they wrong? Although they have, although the what we say, the essay is having a good grammatical range, topic related vocabulary, but the task is not achieved, means the ideas are incorrect, then you are not going to get a good score. You'll barely get 5.5 if the demand of the question is not met, because they're asking, do you think that this convenience food will replace traditional food? If you think yes, you have to give 2 clear ideas. If you think no, you disagree, then you would have to give 2 clear cut ideas in both body paragraphs, and those must be correct 100%. And that means you have achieved your task. Once it's done, then there are 3 other things: cohesion and coherence, which I'm going to teach you today. So cohesion and coherence, and then grammatical range and accuracy, and topic related vocabulary will, these ones simultaneously. So cohesion and coherence means the structure of the essay. For example, in your essay, you are going to write 20-25 lines, and are these lines just random, or there is a particular kind of structure which needs to be followed? That means your essay will be evaluated on this thing. on the basis of cohesion and coherence. First, task achievement, then cohesion and coherence, and then grammatical range and accuracy. Are you using a good range of grammatical sentences or not? And then, are you using a good range of topic related words or not? But the most important are these ones. So before jumping into the essay, we'll brainstorm, we'll see, we'll try to make sure that we are achieving our task. And then throughout the essay, I'll teach you cohesion and coherence. That is how to structure your essay. All right. So let's move towards our sample answer. Let's read the question again so that the ideas generated are appropriate. Convenience food is the food which we can eat conveniently, which we can buy conveniently. Eating this kind of food will not require much effort, or maybe not much cost or something like that. So convenience food will become increasingly prevalent. This is a general trend. I mean, this is going to happen, and because this is going to happen, it's eventually going to replace traditional food, number one, and traditional methods of food preparation. So do you give it a thought? Think for couple of minutes, that will it replace or it won't replace? Just give it a thought. What I believe is that it won't replace, because the very important word here is replace. Replace means, in place of traditional food, your staple food, you are going to eat convenience food. Is that possible that you daily eat burger and then you daily have that cup of coffee from restaurant? So is that possible? I don't think so that's possible. So I believe that it won't replace, but they both will coexist. That means I disagree that replacement will not happen, but they will coexist. That's why I disagree. So firstly, you have to decide that whether you agree or disagree, and then you have to brainstorm ideas. So I disagree, maybe because the very first point in the first paragraph could be nutrition. That the nutrition in the traditional food and the food which is made with the traditional methods is, is balanced, I would say, unlike the convenience food. So it's not healthy. Nutritional content is not up to that mark. That's why it's not going to replace. Although people will like to eat it because of maybe the factors such as affordability or such things, but it won't replace. So they will coexist because of the nutritional thing. So in the first paragraph, I will write something related to nutrition. And in the second paragraph, just give it a thought what we can write. What kind of disagreement can be there? Maybe the traditional food is the one which we are consuming from such a long time. So this is going to be, if we are cooking it in a traditional method, then we will be able to preserve our heritage, culinary skills. We'll be learning from our grandparents. There would be a lot of things which we will be learning if we will continue learning traditional methods of food preparation and consuming that instead of convenience food. So the second point could be related to maybe culinary preservation or heritage, or maybe something learning from elders or grandparents. So something like that. You just have to brainstorm your ideas before writing, even before writing your introduction. All right. So now we are going to write introduction. So introduction will have two parts. First of all, this one. And the second part would be this one. The introduction will always have two parts. There will be 4 to 5 lines, and the introduction is divided into two parts. The very first part in introduction is what? Introduction is going to have a question rephrase and thesis statement. Main ideas as well, but these are optional. But I would recommend you adding main ideas in introduction as well. But question rephrase and thesis statement, these are must. Introduction is always going to be a two-part. First one, we are going to rephrase the question statement. Rephrasing the question statement is understanding the question. The meaning of this sentence should remain same. The words should be different. Try to use synonym, try to use passive sentences, try to use additional clauses. So just to rephrase it. Rephrase doesn't mean, just writing the statement as it is, or maybe just changing 20% and copying 80%. So it doesn't mean that you are rephrasing the question statement. You actually have to rephrase. So there is no word in modern society. So I have written in modern society, the consumption of convenience food has increased dramatically. They said that it will become increasingly prevalent. Instead of using the word increasingly prevalent, I have rephrased using that the consumption has increased dramatically. So you should not, repeat the words. Modern society, consumption of convenience food has increased dramatically, leading some to believe because this is happening. That's why some people believe. This is some other people's viewpoint. That's why I'm saying that because of this sentence, because the consumption of convenience food has increased dramatically, leading some to believe that it will eventually replace traditional meals and cooking methods. That means because this is happening, due to which some people believe that it will eventually replace number one, traditional meals, number two, cooking methods as well. So you have to be very careful that you would have to talk about these both things, not just traditional food, but cooking methods as well. So I have rephrased this thing. So the very first sentence of your essay is going to be question rephrase. Then next is the thesis statement. What is thesis statement now? Thesis statement means you are giving your viewpoint. This is some other people's viewpoint. Now, do you agree with them or you disagree with them? What are the reasons of your agreement or disagreement? You are going to give in the introduction itself, and that is known as thesis statement. It's very important. If your essay is not having thesis statement, then it's not a good band. A good sample answer, I would say. And I recommend you guys using a complex sentence in introduction. For example, you can use although, although 1 comma 2, you can use despite 1 comma 2, you can use while 1 comma 2, such like. You can also use in spite of 1 comma 2. There are a lot of sentences. But try to make sure that in your thesis statement, there is one good grammatical range sentences. All right, so let's read this. While ready-made and pre-packaged foods are undeniably becoming more common. Yes, I agree. I agree that ready-made and pre-packaged food. So instead of writing convenience food again and again, I am adding the topic-related vocabulary. That is ready-made and pre-packaged food. So I agree, while ready-made and pre-packaged food are undeniably becoming more common. Yes, I agree that they are becoming common, but still, I believe that this replacement thing won't happen. So, while it contains two opposite sentences, that's why in the first one, I agreed that yes, ready-made and pre-packaged foods are becoming common. Still, I contend. Now I am going to give my viewpoint. It's very important to give your clear viewpoint in the introduction itself. So I'm going to give my opinion that, whether I agree or disagree. I contend that traditional food and so I'm taking these two things along. So I'm not just focusing on one thing while writing. So I'm saying that I contend that number one, traditional food, and number two, cooking practices will continue to coexist. See, a very important word. This is going to explain my viewpoint. So I'm saying these traditional foods will continue to coexist with convenient food. So they won't, be replaced. I contend that. A very beautiful line. Try to copy this line and always try to, use while sentence in your introduction. So just fix a template that I'm going to use while statement in the introduction and maybe despite in the conclusion and although and however in VP1 and VP2. So this thesis statement says, while ready-made and packaged foods are undeniably becoming more common, I contend that traditional food and cooking practices will continue to coexist with convenience options, means convenience food, rather than being entirely replaced. So they will not be replaced, rather they will coexist. Right. So the opposite of a replacement is continue to coexist. And I have tried to use rather than, instead of. So you have to use such kind of words in your essay. This main idea, in this one, I have used this while. So in the ones, I'll use although, despite, in spite of, and all that stuff. So introduction will have two parts. First is your thesis statement. First is your question rephrase. Then the second is your thesis statement. All right. Now let's move towards our body paragraph. In body paragraph, I have to prove my point that why I disagree with the statement. If I am able to prove that appropriately, then I'm going to get a good band score. Otherwise, barely 5.56 or 6.5. Body paragraph 1. So these are like 7 to 9 sentences. Are these just randomly written? Just give it a thought. Are these just randomly written? Like whatever comes in my mind, I just tend to write that. No, a big no. Body paragraph has a particular structure which needs to be followed, and on the basis of that structure, you guys are, marked. Body paragraph 1, if having 8 sentences, then in the first 2 sentences, there would be main idea, and then there would be explanation of that main idea. Then there would be an example justifying my viewpoint, and then I will wind up that body paragraph with a result. So it stands for MER. Cram this thing. Whenever you are writing a body paragraph, you have to maintain MER. Main idea, then explaining that main idea, then giving example to justify and prove your point, and then winding up the body paragraph with a result. Let's see the magic happening. So I have written just 4 sentences. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nothing more than that. So there is a lot of clarity in this one, this body paragraph. I'll show you how. I've written just 4 sentences. Just, analyzing these ones. Main idea, explanation, example, and result. In body paragraph, there should be, no suggestions, no general lines, like nothing like that. So in the first 2 or 3 sentences, there should be a main idea that why you disagree. So read the main idea, the main reason I believe traditional food will persist, instead of saying again and again that replace. So see, very beautifully I am trying to add topic related vocabulary. In the first one, it was replacement. In the second one, it was continue to coexist. In the third one, I have used the word persist. So this means you have to use synonyms. You have to use synonyms. If you are not using, then there's no chance getting 7 or more. This is our main idea. Very clear-cut sentence for justifying my viewpoint. The main reason I believe traditional food will persist is that it holds cultural, nutritional, and social significance that convenient food cannot replicate. The main reason I believe that it will continue to persist is that, in the brainstorming itself, before writing the introduction, I gave you 2 ideas that I will write a content related to nutrition in the first paragraph and related to grandparents and all that stuff in the second paragraph. So that is a very clearly written sentence that the main reason of my disagreement is the nutritional significance. This is my main idea. And now I'm going to explain this main idea that why, because of nutritional content, it's not going to, convenience food is not going to replace this one, rather they will coexist. So why, because of nutritional content, this is going to happen? Let's explain. And I have tried using although to explain this one, because we have already used while and rather than. So although busy lifestyles encourage the consumption of ready-made meals, I agree that yes, because people are quite busy, and busy lifestyles encourage the consumption of ready-made meals. Ready-made meals means convenience meals, because they are widely available, they are affordable, and they require minimum effort. Because of these ones, I agree that busy lifestyles encourage the consumption of ready-made food. But despite that, so although has 2 opposite sentences. This is the positive one and this is the negative one, which is going to explain, strengthen my viewpoint. That's my main idea. Let's read the explanation, and you just see that this explanation is just explaining the main idea. Though busy lifestyles encourage the consumption of ready-made meals, which are widely available, affordable, and require minimal effort, these products often lack authentic flavors and balanced nutrition. See, that home-cooked meals provide. So yes, agree that they will be consumed, but they won't be able to replace, because the traditional food are nutritious, are balanced, but on the other side, such ready-made meals often lack authentic flavors and balanced nutrition that home-cooked meals provide. So I'm simultaneously comparing and proving my point. In the main idea I have written, then I have explained, and then in the example, I'm going to give nutrition again. Example, a student living in metropolitan city may rely on frozen packaged meal to save time. Yes, so he is doing so. Yet such meals means convenience meals, frequently contain preservatives and fewer fresh ingredients, unlike traditional dishes prepared with seasonal and wholesome components. So here I am also adding the preparation thing, not only traditional food, but the traditional methods of preparation. So I have given the example to prove my point. Now I have added the connect, and I'm going to wind this BP up using a connector and giving a result. Consequently, while convenience food will dominate some daily diets, I agree, it cannot fully replace. This justifies my disagreement. So replacement won't happen, but they will coexist. So it can't fully replace traditional meals due to what? Due to main idea. Main idea is nutrition, due to essential health and cultural benefits they offer. So, okay. But see, I just want to teach you the structure. That is cohesion and coherence. Cohesion and coherence. So, a very important point here. The main idea had cultural, nutritional, and social significance. So, there are 3 words in the main idea. But in explanation, you're just explaining nutrition. In the example, you are only giving, example related to nutrition. And in result as well, you are just giving thing related to nutrition and health. So we won't write these ones. After social significance, we won't write these ones. Because the entire, paragraph was related to nutrition. So I will just focus on nutrition. The main idea is talking about nutrition. Convenience food is not having that much nutrition and the nutritional content, but that traditional food is having. So main idea is nutrition, explanation is again nutrition, example is again nutrition, and consequence is again nutrition. So main idea, explanation, example, and result. And the same goes for paragraph 2. In paragraph 2, there are 4 sentences, C1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. Just give it a thought. Paragraph 2. All right. So again, we are going to follow the same method. Main idea, explanation, example, and result. So another reason is that cooking is a social and educational activity that preserves culinary heritage and fosters family bonding. So a very clearly written main idea. No fuss, just straight to the point. So this is my second reason of my disagreement. It preserves culinary heritage and fosters family bonding. That's the main idea. And in the explanation, I'm going to explain the same thing. And then I'm going to give example of the same. Convenience food, although efficient, is usually consumed individually. Maybe while going to office or your classes, you just grab a quick cup of coffee and then you have it. So it's consumed individually because, it's encouraged by the busy lifestyle. Convenience food, although efficient, is usually consumed individually and does not provide opportunities for intergenerational learning or cultural engagement. Neither intergenerational learning is happening nor cultural engagement is happening when you are, having that ready-made food. On the contrary, if you are eating traditional food, cooking with traditional methods, then there would be intergenerational learning. Learn from your grandparents, your parents, you will teach your children. There will be a cultural engagement as well. So this is the main idea, and I have explained this main idea, that is preserving culinary heritage and fostering family bonding, in my explanation. And then example is also going to be about the main idea, that is preserving culinary heritage and fostering family bonding. For instance, families preparing traditional meals together can teach recipes and cooking skills that have been passed down for generations, reinforcing social cohesion and cultural identity. See, the topic-related vocabulary is great in this sample. That's my main idea. That's my example. An example is strengthening my main idea and explanation. See the flow of the words. Main idea is preserve culinary heritage and fosters family bonding. And then explanation is explaining the same thing but in different words. Intergenerational learning or cultural engagement. Then example is also talking about same thing but in different words. So topic related vocabulary is great, reinforcing social cohesion and cultural identity. So once we are done with example, and then here comes the result with a connector as a result. So main idea, explanation, example, and result. As a result, traditional food continues to play an indispensable role. So that replacement is not going to happen. As a result, traditional food continues to play an indispensable role in society, complementing rather than being replaced. So it's going to complement, it's going to coexist, so it's not going to be replaced by the convenience. So that is my result. So I'm winding up my entire thing by proving that this is a strong point of my disagreement. There is, there are no general lines, there are no out of the topic lines. So just 4 sentences and that's it. Okay, conclusion. In conclusion, try to use a complex sentence, maybe although, despite, however, nevertheless, in spite of, so all that stuff, while, whereas. Starting it with conclusion. In conclusion, while convenience food offers efficiency, affordability, and accessibility, yes, I instead of writing while, you can write although. And although is also already written, you can write despite the fact. So we are not going to repeat these again. In conclusion, despite the fact that convenience food offers efficiency, affordability, and accessibility, so I agree. So this is the first sentence for despite, and this is the second sentence for despite. In conclusion, despite the fact that convenience food offers efficiency, affordability, and accessibility, I agree that yes, these are the points, but still I believe traditional meals will continue to coexist. They will persist. They will continue to coexist. They won't be replaced. Because of the two main ideas. So main ideas are, first is nutrition and second is that grandparents thing. So we have to give summary of both paragraphs because they provide superior nutrition, number one. Summary of BP1. Promote social interaction, summary of BP2. Demonstrating that both convenience, and then I am, reiterating the essay statement that because of these points, both convenience and traditional foods are likely to remain relevant in the modern society. So the replacement thing is not going to happen. So the conclusion just has a complex sentence and covering two main ideas of BP1 and BP2. So in the conclusion, I've used despite. Here I have used although. I could have used even though or though, because although is already written, so I am just writing though. I had already used while, so I'm not going to use while here. Rather, maybe even though. All right, so this was all about your writing task 2. So task achievement, two ideas, both are correct. Cohesion and coherence means this. Introduction has these two things. Body paragraphs have 4 things, and then the conclusion. So this talks about cohesion and coherence. Grammatical range and accuracy means we have tried to use the word rather than, instead of, although, although, while, despite, though, could have used however, nevertheless, nonetheless, whereas, and all that stuff. Grammatical range and accuracy. And the fourth component is topic related vocabulary, means using a good range of words related to topic. So these are the 4 things you must be careful about. So, all right. So this was your main idea. This was your introduction. And then BP1, BP2, and conclusion. The only thing I'm going to tell you before leaving is topic-related vocabulary. The topic-related vocabulary is not just using a very heavy vocabulary, very heavy words which are difficult to understand, but just using very simple words related to the topic, related to this topic. Let's see how many words are there, because you are going to get marks for that. Write at least 10 to 14 words. Convenience food, traditional meals, cooking methods, ready-made and pre-packaged foods, cooking practices, traditional food practices. So these are all topic-related vocabulary. Traditional food, cultural, nutritional, and social significance, convenience food, busy lifestyle, consumption of ready-made food. These are all topic-related vocabulary. These are very basic words, but still they count. Lack authentic flavor and balanced nutrition, cooked meals, frozen food, packaged meal, preservatives, fresh ingredients, traditional dishes, wholesome and seasonal components, daily diets, traditional meals. So these are all the topic related words. You guys get marks for these ones. So I'm going to wind up the video now. So just make sure that you are, just picking up some good topic related vocabulary in paragraph 2 and conclusion as well. And you're just going this entire thing. So this is your main idea. This is your introduction, VP1, VP2, and conclusion. So this is definitely a Band-Aid essay because all 4 things are taken care of. All right, this was all about today's topic. I will be there with a next topic, maybe tomorrow. So this was all for today. If you like this video, if you want to get more some videos, just subscribe to my channel and then share my channel with other friends who are preparing so that they can get a lot out of it. All right, see you then tomorrow and bye for today.